perspective on these comprehensive, flawless instructions. He says, the law of the Lord is perfect, restoring the soul. Proverbs 25:13 has a parallel to this. It uses the exact same phrase translated restoring the soul. And Proverbs 25:13 says this, like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. The idea of refreshing the soul or restoring the soul is the idea of infusing the soul with spiritual life, vitality, refreshment. The picture here is that David sees himself wandering through the world full of all of its sin and difficulties and trials and temptations, and he sees how the world weighs him down, how his own sin can weigh him down, how the trials that he's going through can be exhausting. And then he says, but the word of God is refreshing. It takes a weary soul and gives that weary soul refreshment, revitalization, life. It's like being outside on a July Phoenix day when it's 118 degrees and the monsoons are starting to come in, so it's humid and it's sticky and it's ridiculously hot. And then you come in the house and you get a glass of iced tea or lemonade or ice water or whatever it is that you're refreshed by, and you come in and you take that drink and you go, it just refreshes my soul, refreshes my body. I feel alive again. I felt like I was dying out there in that heat, and now I feel new. I feel refreshed and revived. And that's what David says the word of God is like. Our souls get thirsty. Our souls get weary. Our souls feel like they need some infusion of life and help and vitality. And we come to the word of God, and the word of God gives us that life and renews and restores and refreshes our soul. This is what Jesus is talking about when he says in Matthew chapter 11, speaking to the crowds that were there and calling them to follow him. And in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, Jesus makes this statement to those crowds listening. He says, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. You ever feel like your soul just needs rest? You're weary. You've got trials, being tempted. You're discouraged. It's 5 days into the year, and you think to yourself, I can't believe we're only 5 days into the year, and I've already sinned more than I thought I would, and I'm going through trials already, and it's been difficult, and I come to church on the first Sunday thinking it's going to be a great new year, and I'm already feeling discouraged and wore out, and we still got 360 days left of this year. How am I going to get through? It's the Word of God that will refresh your soul. It's the Word of God that will renew you. God's commandments are not burdensome, as John wrote in 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. The path of truth is a narrow road, but it is the road of blessing and refreshment. It is the path that imparts spiritual vitality to the soul. And so if you are a weary pilgrim this morning and you say, what can I do to get some new life? Where can I get a spiritual IV? It's the Word of God that refreshes the soul.